そびえ立つ夏雲のように胸の高まりをさえきれずに
I have mentioned the Atelier games in no less than 2 lists of my favourite JRPGs on any given console recently, so it was with absolute delight that I was asked to review the sequel to 2019's Atelier Ryza with Atelier Ryza 2, Lost Legends and the Secret Fairy for the PlayStation 5. For the uninitiated of you out there who haven't played an Atelier game before, you play as the titular Ryza, who is an alchemist, which is the core driving force for these games. There is a battling system which is very reminiscent of the classic JRPG styles of Final Fantasy 7 and 8, using turn-based ATB style combat, where time doesn't stop even when you're selecting moves or items that you want to use. I really like this as it forces you to make snap decisions in battle, and as I say, brings back many fond memories of Final Fantasies 7 and 8. Between these battles and adventuring in caves and dungeons, you will spend a lot of time gathering materials to synthesize in your cauldron and perform alchemy! You'll spend a lot of time in the Atelier, which is Ryza's like little home, performing alchemy, which is really interesting and easily my favourite part about the Atelier series by far. Gathering materials for Ryza to perform alchemy has its own levelling system as well. Performing more gathering levels up this skill so that you will gain more items per gather, etc, etc. On top of this, you have a fully fleshed out alchemy skill tree which allows you to access more recipes the more you use it. Again, alchemy is the most fun part of these games, and it's just overwhelmingly fun to see Ryza improve her alchemy skills and create all these new things. These items can range from being incredibly useful when crawling the game's plethora of caves and dungeons, to simply being items that you make expensive to gain money and buy new equipment or items to perform alchemy with. It's not just picking stuff off the floor or smashing rocks that gathers items, beating up enemies drops them too, and as you'd expect, the tougher the enemy, the better the reward. Gameplay aside, I've always been a big fan of the way that Gus designs its characters. And whilst they have mostly been thirst traps bordering on hentai in previous years, the Atelier series has always shied away from that in favour of designs that are a little easier to justify to my wife. With this in mind, I love the character design and personalities of every single character I came across, with Ryza herself being insanely adorable and easily became my new waifu. I am also a huge fan of the grown-up Tao and think he's become a little badass without losing any of his adorable personality that made him such a sweetheart in the first title. Also, I love Fee. She's so cute, and that's all I will say on this matter. One thing I've always liked about the Atelier series is that the story is a lot more grounded than the world-ending calamities we have come to expect from the genre. The story of Ryza 2 is quite simple really. A client brings you a mysterious rock and asks you to look into why it's glowing and shining. The rock then hatches and out pops a little fairy called Fee, and thus the adventure begins. Unlike the original game, Ryza 2 is focused on the capital city as opposed to her home on Kirkin Island, and it was just a delight to see a lot more of this fantastic world and watch Ryza and her friends adjust to the big city life. Atelier Ryza 2 is very, very character driven, spending lots of time investing in characters and their relationships. As I say, Ryza isn't going to save the whole world in her quest, but the grounding of this works really well and is what I love about the Atelier series as a whole. Also, the music is really calming. The bouncy tones set the tone and help make this game such a relaxing comfort food of the title. Since playing the sequel, I've been constantly listening to the first game's soundtrack while I work because it just fills me with so much joy. It is a very slow burn of a JRPG, so if you are looking for something that's going to ramp up from the get-go and never let up, then I would suggest you look elsewhere. However, if you are looking for a game that's incredibly relaxing and will help you unwind after a hard day's work, then I can easily recommend adding Atelier Ryza 2 to the list of games you absolutely must play. With all this in mind, Atelier Ryza 2 has been a very satisfying and fun game to play. And when I went to put one more hour into the game on Friday, this quickly turned into 7 hours of gameplay and I just didn't want to stop. All the alchemy, the item collection, the dungeon crawling has been perfected in Atelier Ryza 2, and I can easily sit here and give this game 9 out of 10. I love it so much, and it has been the most relaxing video game experience I've had in years. I appreciate it's not for everyone, but if you're a fan of anime or JRPGs, then there is lots to love here. Thank you for watching my review. Don't forget to give us a like and subscribe if you found it useful, or let us know what you didn't like in the comments below. If there's anything you think we could change about the channel, then do let us know. We thrive on feedback. Don't forget to check out www.respawning.co.uk and follow us at RespawningUK on all the relevant social media channels. Thanks again.